Welcome to your 30-minute Hatha practice. And we are going to follow the true dynamic sequence of a classical Hatha, where Hatha in Sanskrit represents sun and moon. So we begin to heat the body for kind of peaking to the midpoint of the class, and then the latter half of the class we begin to come down and begin cooling the body so we can really draw in all the restorative benefits of everything that we've just done. So I invite you to take a comfortable seat here to begin practice, and I always recommend lifting the hips a little bit higher than the knees. And if sitting on the floor is just not agreeable for you at all, find a shape and space that works for you entirely. You can even sit in a chair if sitting on the floor is not ideal. So we'll move together for 30 minutes, and always remembering that I'm here as your guide, and your body and your breath is truly the teacher in your practice. So listening for that smooth tone of inhales and exhales, and never holding or gripping or pushing or pulling. That's really an indication that you're working the physical body a little bit out of its comfort zone, and we don't take in the benefits of our yoga practice if we're working to that intensity. So beginning to now drop into this space wherever it may be that you are practicing this morning. Beginning to scan the physical body for any kind of familiar places where you know that you hold tension. For some of us, that can be the jaw, the shoulders, through the neck. Some of us may even find a clenching through our abdomen, this innate sense of needing to protect. Invite some softening to these places, perhaps unhinge the jaw. Allow your tongue to release from the roof of your mouth. Welcome a settling of the shoulders, almost so that you can feel the backs of your shoulder blades beginning to descend down the back. And as you feel the breath begin to enter and leave the body, can you invite a softening to your abdomen? Softening all the way around, the sense of 360 degrees from navel all the way around to the low back. Think of an inflating balloon. So on those inhales, the belly gently begins to rise up. And as you send those slow exhales out of the body, the navel begins to gently sink and settle towards the spine. Perhaps explore connecting with this ebb and flow of your natural rhythm of breath. This is where we drop out of the thinking mind, what we sometimes say in yoga, the monkey mind, and begin to come into our feeling. So just following out a few more rhythms of your breath, stay connected, redirect your attention back to the breath when the mind begins to wander. You can always simplify this process, this meditative process for yourself, and even say the words internally. Inhale when you're breathing in, and exhale as you breathe out. For a little bit of breath work this morning, we're going to work on our box breath, and I'm going to employ some kumbakas into this breath. So these are breath retentions. So if you have any blood pressure issues, you can do the 4-part breath, but we're going to kind of, if you feel agitated or bothersome when you're holding the breath, and just let go of that practice and continue with your own smooth ebb and flow of inhales and exhales. So with our box breath, it's like a box with 4 sides. So we inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold again at the bottom of that exhale. So if you find that 4 doesn't work for you, it can be any number as well. So when you're ready, we can explore some of that to get into this parasympathetic system and begin to calm the nervous system down. So let's draw an inhale in together, really filling up from the bottom lobes of your lungs all the way up to the collarbones. And once full, gently begin to send that breath out of the body as slowly as it came in. And here we go, friends. Inhale for 4. Gently pause and retain your breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sip the breath out through the nose again for 4. Pause and retain. Good job. Inhale again for 4. Really fill up from the bottom of the lungs to the top. Gently pause your breath. Beautiful. Begin to soften here as you send the breath out for 4. And at the bottom of that exhale, pause again for 4. And one more time, inhale for 4. And as you pause here, can you allow the shoulders to settle, release any tension through the back body, soften the sides of your throat. Exhale out. And final pause for 4. Beautiful, and release that breath. Just now tuning back into that natural ebb and flow and organic nature of your breath. I wish you all a beautiful practice. All right, so if you weren't in a seated position, we're moving into that now. So again, if you need to take a chair, you want to stay on the floor, feel free. Keeping those hips lifted, we're going to interlace our fingers and begin to spread the palms out in front of us. So you straighten out the elbows and draw a deep inhale in as we sweep those arms up overhead, really reaching here through the base of your palms, and allow the shoulders to drop down and away from the ears. Good. Continue to smooth out your breath here. See if you can soften through the ribs. So we're not jutting the ribs out, creating an arc through the spine. We're just aiming for this tall, rooting lift through the spine, through crown of head, down through the sitting bones. Let go of any tension through the teeth. Beautiful. And as you come across an exhale, begin to let the arms go, and we're going to twist over to the right. So just allowing that left hand maybe to land on the upper right thigh. Think as you lift here, it's less about the twist and how deep we are in the twist, and more about this sense of rising up, lifting through the top of your head. And maybe as you draw an exhale out, there's a little bit more room for you to twist. Try not to lift through the sitting bones. Feel grounded and rooted beneath you. Beautiful. Come back to center. Interlace those fingers again, sweep the arms up overhead, and this time drop the chin down, so sending the chin towards your collarbones. Open up the back of your neck here. Feel the arms reaching, energizing through all the muscles, biceps, triceps, in through your forearms. Soft through the ribs and the abdomen, and exhale, twist over to the left. So again, being mindful of how the breath moves here. As you draw that inhale in, think this rising up through the spine, and as you exhale, you can begin to explore, maybe turning a little bit more. Excellent. And then come back to center. We're just going to get into some dynamic side movement here just to loosen up through the waist. So inhale, bring that right arm up overhead as you rest the left hand down. Begin to arc over the body and ground down through your seat. Don't allow the sitting bones to lift up. And then gently spiral the ribs up towards the ceiling. Feel that opening through the right side of the body. Beautiful. And then switch sides. So perhaps connecting your breath with this movement, make this your own. Maybe inhale as you begin to lift and rise up. Exhale as you arc over. What are you feeling here? What can you connect to through maybe the hips, the ribs? Maybe you're feeling this intensity more through the arms, through the armpits, just noticing what this is opening up for you. And just finishing that last round. Good job. We're coming off our seat, friends, and we're going to set up into cat-cow. So taking tabletop for this position, we're going to come into wide span fingers so that the thumbs are reaching towards one another and your little fingers are reaching towards the sides of your mat. Ground down through those palms as you root down. Knees are directly under the hips. Shoelaces of the feet can be down, or you can curl under the toes, whichever feels best for you. And let's recenter into that breath as you inhale. Begin to send your glance upward and forward as the tailbone tips up, reaching towards the sky in your cow. And exhale, begin to send the ground away as you protract the shoulder blades and round through the upper spine. So this length and depth and rotation will be different for all of us depending on how our breath is ebbing and flowing. So just connect inwardly here, maybe closing the eyes if it feels safe to do so as we warm up all of the fluid through the spine. Waking things up, especially if we came straight maybe from sleeping, or maybe we just haven't moved that much yet in our day. And connect to this rotation, really directing from the pelvis. So think less about the back and more about this rocking sensation. And finishing up your last round, wherever you are, the last time you land back in your cow, just settling into a more neutral spine here. So you gently begin to engage into the core. So think as if somebody's coming to give you a little bit of a tickle. And then walk your knees a little bit further back so they are no longer underneath your hips. We're coming into our first down dog. So as you curl the toes under in Iyengar lineage, our feet stay together, toes together, heels a little bit apart. And then as you exhale, begin to send your hips skyward here. Really feel this grounding through the base of the palms. And now first down dog of the day for most of us, maybe for a long time, just begin to see what is happening here with the breath. How is it moving in this gentle inversion? And is there any movement perhaps the body's asking for? Maybe a deep bend in one knee at a time, allowing the opposite heel to drop closer to the mat. Just beginning to open up the backs of the legs, getting into the calves, your hamstrings. Roll those shoulders down the back and then also outwardly away from the spine. There should be a gentle just softening through the elbows. We're not hyperextending and locking into the arms here. Good job. Find a place of stillness in your dog. Draw a deep breath in here. And then maybe open the mouth, stick the tongue out, lion's breath, let it go. Do that one more time, breathe in. Open the mouth. Beautiful job. Let's sweep our right leg up, out behind us, flex deeply into the toes. The toes are curling towards your shin, and balance out the weight in your front two hands. So notice if you're favoring left to right, right to left, and find your center. And then when you're ready on an exhale, begin to send that right leg up towards the top of the mat as we drop the knee and shoelaces of the left foot down. So setting up for our low lunge, this is where you may wish to have your blocks. And always doing an alignment check so we make sure we protect the joints here. So your knee stays over top of that ankle. And you want to connect to a sense of feeling with that back foot and make sure that all the toenails are connected on the floor. Okay, and then as you set up here, begin to feel a settling, almost a shifting the hips forward as you begin to open up into the front of that left hip. Send the sternum proud and upwards. And as you invite that left hip a little bit more forward, send that right hip back. Feel how that changes things for the pelvis. And then when you're ready, we're going to perhaps climb up a little bit higher. You don't need the blocks. You can always balance your hand on the knee. And let's continue with getting into the side bend. So let's sweep that left arm up overhead. And you can use the block here for stability if you'd like, as you begin to reach over to the right. So send that left hip forward, sinking the hips down. Not holding the breath, breathe here. Beautiful, and then bring that left arm back down, and you're going to come into your runner's lunge. So begin to straighten out through that right leg as you curl the toes towards the shin. And you want to maintain this 90-degree of your supporting leg, so don't come too far back on that knee. It's going to change the stretch for your hamstring. And then look down at that foot, and can you straighten out? So pushing down a little bit through the big toe mound of the right foot to center that alignment of the sole of the foot. And then begin to send your chest forward. So as if your upper body is coming to rest on the thigh. Think flat back here as much as possible. The legs will tell you when you've gone far enough. And then if you're looking for a little bit more here, you can explore turning the head to the right as you perhaps bring the left ear closer towards the leg. Opening up the belly of that hamstring if we do a lot of walking or running, jogging, anything of that nature. These major muscles in the legs tend to get a little bit loud. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up. And we're going to move the blocks off to the side, come back to your downward dog. Take one breath here just to recenter yourself. Inhale, sweep that left leg out behind. Bring the left leg forward, setting up for your low lunge on the opposite side. So again, you can use the blocks here. Bring that awareness to send that right hip forward. Left hip sinks back. And as you come to rise, inhale, right arms turn. So reaching up here, and as you exhale, generating the body over to the left. Beautiful, breathe. Good job. Exhale, bring that arm back. Settle back into your runner's lunge on this side. So peel that left foot up off of the floor as you begin to set the body back. And sending the chest forward. And you may notice one side of the body is a little bit louder than the other, and that's okay. We listen, we respect And here again, if you're looking for a little bit more intensity, begin to turn the head to the left as you bring the right ear closer towards that straight leg. Maybe one day our ear comes all the way to the knee, maybe never. That's why we practice, right? Good job. Inhale, come back to center. You're going to just plant that left foot down. Move your blocks to the side. We're going to meet at the top of the mat, friends. So step the right foot to meet the left. Take an inhale, coming into flat back. Straighten out those legs and shift your weight forward to the balls of your feet. So almost as if your heels are going to peel up off of the floor. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale, bring your arms together. We're going to sweep up, rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. So we're going to move through a sun cell A. Please do not lower in chaturanga. We want to protect our shoulders. So when you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come into a flat back. And as you exhale, plant the hands down, take the right leg back first, and then the left as you land in your chaturanga. So you're in this low push-up. Your elbows are settling into the side ribs. Good job. Inhale, upward facing dog. You can always drop the legs down at any point if this is too much. Exhale, over the toes, down dog. Inhale, look up towards the top of your mat. You can hop, walk, float, whichever way. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Good job. Inhale, sweep your arms up, reach up, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart, other side. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come into your flat back, shift that weight forward. Exhale, left leg goes back first, then your right into your chaturanga. Energize here, feel the ground. Beautiful. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, over the toes, down dog. Looking up, send yourself to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, this time as you look up, we're going to step ourselves back to a down dog. Take a grounding breath here, recenter. And then when you're ready, send that right leg up out behind and begin to bend through the knee. You're going to send that knee right behind the right wrist, setting up for pigeon. So you begin to walk that left leg back. And if you have pillows or blocks, whichever, use something to just support the head, the forearms, whichever. You might be coming right down to the ground to settle in. You may also wish to take a block and support that sitting bone on the right side so it's not lifting up off of the floor. So we're going to have 3 breaths here on this side. Begin to soften and settle in so you can feel a sense of those deeper fascial tissues supporting the pelvis. Begin to just loosen. Good job. Finish one more breath here. And as you begin to inhale, you can gently set yourself back to come up. Be mindful here that you don't jar yourself because we don't want to create any intensity of blood flow to the head. Curl the back toes under as you send the right leg back to meet the left, back into your down dog. Left leg's turn, send that left leg up out behind, flexing into the foot. And then as you exhale, bring that left knee behind the left wrist and walking that right leg out behind. You can always do peek over your shoulder just to make sure that that leg's straight coming out of the hip. And then begin to settle down here into your pigeon, resting the head on something. Soften and smooth out the breath. 2 more breaths here, please. Beautiful. And then begin to inhale up. Move your props off to the side. And we're just going to shift our weight over onto the left hip as we roll over to our backs. So taking your time to kind of come down to the floor. As you come to rest here, maybe bending through the knees, you can just lift the hips up just slightly and then move your buttock flesh off to the side as you lower the back body back down, feeling this beautiful equalizing across the back sacrum. And then just for our final pose before we enjoy a couple minutes of Shavasana, we're going to look into Happy Baby. So a couple options, you can grab peace fingers around big toes. You want your arms to be on the inside of your legs. So if toes are not available, you can always grab the backs of your legs, so into your thighs. You can reach the outsides of your feet. You just want to make sure that the soles of your feet are facing the ceiling. And make sure that the neck is soft here, friends, and that you're not kind of straining to reach the feet and that the chin is skyward. So there's a gentle tuck of the chin towards the collarbones. And then as you exhale, feel this invitation for the legs to draw closer to the floor. Two more breaths here. Breathe into your hips, our emotional cellars, housing our traumas, our fears. Great job. And then releasing that happy baby. Begin to extend the legs long. Release any holding through the ankles. Allow your feet to roll out to the side as you set up for your Shavasana. So the beauty with being at home is you can take all these comforts, blankets, pillows, socks, whatever you need, and make sure the body remains warm. As we take in the final moments of our yoga practice, this is where we really reap the benefits when the body becomes quiet. I'm just going to leave you with some words this morning from Rupi Kaur about acceptance. She says, it's easy to love the nice things about ourselves, but true self-love is embracing the difficult parts that live inside all of us. You can begin to deepen the breath, bringing back an awareness to the physical body as you prepare to transition out of your practice and into the next elements of your day. Knowing that whatever is ahead or facing you, your yoga practice is easy to carry off of the mat and into your daily life. This awareness of breath, body, and soul. You're welcome to stay lying down, or you can join me in a seated position as we close practice. Bringing our hands to heart center, allowing the thumbs to rest on your sternum. Maybe gently feeling the beat of your heart. Connecting to a place of gratitude. I thank each and every one of you for sharing your practice with me, your energy, your commitment to wellness. Until next time, friends. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peaceful body, peaceful mind, peaceful spirit.